Hi and welcome back to the channel. In review today is Steven Spielberg's West Side Story on 4K Blu-ray. Let's take a look at the tech specs. It was shot on a selection of 35mm Kodak film stock. It's got a 4K DI, the aspect ratio is 239:1, it's got a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, it's a 66GB disc, the runtime is 156 minutes and it's rated 12. In terms of picture quality, the 4K image carries a pleasant filmic and cinematic appearance with a well-resolved fine layer of grain, alongside an appropriate colour grading that transports the image back to the golden era with a charming vintage aesthetic. The way the colour grading has been applied doesn't make for bold, vivid primaries and leaves these tones more on the subtle and subdued side, in keeping with the intended style. The colour palette often opts for cooler, bluey-grey tones in areas such as the demolished buildings and the salt warehouse, whilst other settings carry warmer amber tones such as the dance in the gym and the America sequence when they're dancing in the street, with these two scenes probably offering the most vibrant splashes of colour throughout the film. The application of HDR offers some subtle but appreciative tonal enhancements to the film's colour palette, further bolstering the warmer and cooler hues, whilst giving the primaries a small extra boost of saturation over the SDR Blu-ray, which is particularly evident on the ladies' colourful dresses. The image doesn't take much advantage of brighter highlights, with natural or artificial light sources having a more realistic appearance, and the black levels are adequate, with nighttime or low-lit scenes retaining clarity and good shadow detail. Sharpness and clarity-wise, the 4K disc doesn't offer a huge improvement in definition, but eagle-eyed viewers will notice small upticks to fine detailing, particularly in close-ups with textures on skin and clothing showing slightly better refinement. Background detail does also benefit from a small increase in depth and clarity, more so on the wider shots, but these improvements are all pretty marginal over the 1080p. If you enjoy this type of content, why not consider subscribing, as I have new videos out every week. Moving on to the audio quality, Disney's 4K presentation comes equipped with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. As is common with Disney releases, I did have to turn up the volume a few notches above reference level when I was viewing the movie. Once adjusted though, the soundtrack performs pretty well, and being a musical, the music and dance numbers are the real highlights of this mix, as the songs come through with good clarity and precision, making for a fun and engaging soundtrack. Apart from some nice extra musical extension, the height speakers don't have a particular standout moment, but do still produce a few small but effective inserts, such as pigeons flying overhead, rumbles of thunder and the paper falling down in the PlayStation. In the quieter and non-music driven scenes, the track does also deliver some good background ambience and atmospherics, with sirens and construction noises helping to set the scene. The subwoofer output isn't over-vigorous and mainly helps out with the musical elements, adding the appropriate bass tones to each of the numbers. Dialogue comes through crisp and clean and is easy to comprehend. To summarise, I'll give the picture an 8.6. The filmmaking and stylistic choices that Steven Spielberg and cinematographer Janusz Kaminski have made does present some visual limitations for this 4K disc, resulting in an image that's a tad below razor sharp and not overly bold and vibrant, even with the application of HDR, but it does still offer some improvements, even if marginal, over the already strong Blu-ray. And I'll give the audio an 8.7. Although it doesn't add much more than the 7.1 mix, fans of this movie should still enjoy the extra elements of immersion that this Dolby Atmos soundtrack produces. So these are my thoughts on West Side Story on 4K Blu-ray. Will you be adding this one to your collection? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, enjoy your movies, bye!